The best movie logos show that a well-designed emblem can elevate anything. With the right logos, movie studios can send an important message to their viewers about what they can expect to see in theaters and provoke emotions of their viewers before introducing a movie plotline.
Hi, my name is Laura Kyung, and this video is brought to you by Envato Elements, the largest unlimited creative subscription in the world. Click the link in the description and get seriously creative. In this video, we will take a look at the different movie logos, from the most intricate to the most simple designs and why they work. But first, let's take a look at the history of title designs.
A Trip to the Moon was the first film to feature a logo in the title card. The original movie logo featured an Art Nouveau font, rightly so since it was released in 1902. Reinforcing the Art Nouveau style, the movie is a French science fiction film. While the logo doesn't exactly say science fiction, it uses a font that for its time was a little more out of the box. Movie title design was a central aspect of movies during the silent film era. The Academy first acknowledged the importance of this graphic element in 1929, honoring the red mill, which impressed viewers with readable typefaces and Art Deco style capitals, awarding the movie with Best Title Design. With the introduction of sound, opening title sequences disappeared quickly. Saul Bass brought back this graphic design skill with the introduction of color film, and graphic design was also hitting a new high in society and culture. North by Northwest and Dr. No changed the game forever. Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock has one of the most iconic logo designs by Tony Palladino. The lettering was first made for the book and later used for the sequel movies. The first movie title sequence was inspired by the slashes on the logo, but the original logo used the slashed block lettering. The Psycho logo has been influential when it came to great movie logos. It is simple, yet it captures what the whole movie is about. Compared to other commercial logos, logo design for movies benefit even more from color psychology, classic design principles, and typographic rules. Encapsulating the energy, the story of a movie on a single logo can be a fun process. It's about finding the balance between not giving everything away, working with cleverness, and appealing to the target audience. So let's take a look at some great movie logos and deconstruct them. First up, we have The Shining. This film by Stanley Kubrick is regarded as a masterpiece. Saul Bass and his wife Elaine Bass designed the logo for one of the most terrifying movies of all time. This is a great example of a conceptual logo aimed at evoking feelings of fear and curiosity. The font choice is blocky yet uneven, and we can see that in the two ends. By the looks of it, the logo was handcrafted. The edges of the feature a fuzzy edge. It is no coincidence that the dot over the eyes look like eyes. They don't only mimic the eyes on the logo, but also that famous scene from the movie, Here is Johnny. The slant also transmits sort of a shivering coldness. Remember, there's also a snow scene in the movie. Saul Bass presented the poster with a red background, but Stanley Kubrick chose to go with a yellow background, deviating from color psychology, but somehow the poster still works. The Godfather is such an iconic movie that had everyone talking about the cinematography and the characters. The Godfather was a novel before a movie. The font was designed by Neil Fujita. The designer extended the G to create a little house for God. For the rest of the logo, the font has sharp and pointy serifs. It is set with super tight kerning. This helps the logo be even more solid. The puppet strings are indicative that Don Corleone is the puppet master. This is another example of a conceptual logo that shows cleverness and doesn't give away the whole plot of the movie.
Struggling for a spark? Fire up the largest unlimited creative subscription in the world. find and download authentic graphics, templates, photos, and fonts. Get seriously creative and go supernova with Envato Elements.
Star Wars is one of the biggest franchises with plenty of sequels, and they still managed to use the same logo since 1977. There were variations before the one logo we know today. This one is designed by Susie Rice and slightly modified by Joe Johnston. There have been quite a few variations of this logo, sometimes used only as a border or as a small feature, but always maintaining the Star Wars DNA. George Lucas requested that the logo have a more fascist look that evoked intimidation. The designer used techniques like a bold font, sharp lines, and sharp cuts to design the logo. The elongated S and R give the logo a futuristic look, which was later elongated by Joe Johnston. This feature brings to mind the long road ahead with a bend on both S's. Johnston also made other smaller but significant changes like dimensions and spacing, resulting in the logo that we know today. James Bond is one of the world's most iconic spy movies. The design was conceived by Joe Cariff and has been interpreted in different sophisticated ways, but still maintaining its original DNA. The logo concept takes inspiration from the essence of all James Bond movies as the 7 is turned into a gun. The logo is simple, short, but instantly recognizable. As for the font, it has been changed a few times from Roman to slanted, and the difference between these two is that Roman-style fonts tend to look stable. Using a slant or italic font truly emphasizes movement, and when it comes to spy movies, movement and action are everything. Jurassic Park, a classic from the 90s. The T-Rex was designed by Chip Kidd. He was inspired by a visit to the museum when he came across a giant skeleton. He came across an illustration of a T-Rex on a souvenir book and photocopied it. Using pencil and tracing paper for the famous T-Rex silhouette, Chip Kidd gave life to this famous logo. Later on, Mike Salisbury and his team added a bit of jungle at the bottom to give a bigger scale to the dinosaur. The scale of the T-Rex emphasizes adventure and danger. The logo is quickly recognizable and shaped like a badge, perfect for explorers' gear. The font used for this logo is Neuland, which Salisbury redesigned in his own way. The font is quirky, fun, and almost looks like chiseled stone, goes with the theme. The inline helps bring emphasis to the title, which could have competed with the big red background. All of this is contained with a yellow rule that helps to make a visual statement. There are many small details on the illustration that could have potentially gotten lost when printed, but we can see now that it doesn't take anything away from the iconic logo. This famous logo is not only the movies, but also the theme park logo, so we can see it everywhere on souvenirs and merch throughout the movie. And last, we have Indiana Jones. This is all about adventure as well. The font for the logo was designed by Mike Salisbury, who also designed the logo for the movies Hello and Moulin Rouge. The logo was inspired by adventure films from the early 1900s and Western movies from the 40s and 50s. The logo was based on evoking a sense of adventure and mystery. The logo is also meant to convey discovery, which is the heart of archaeology and Indiana Jones movies. The font is bold and it is set in block letters, so it represents the roughness that comes with adventure. The perspective on this logo is unlike any of the others we have seen. In this case, it helps achieve movement and action. Later on, designers David Willardson and Charlie White created the famous sunset gradient in the logo, similar to what you would find on archaeological expeditions.
So what makes a great movie logo? We have deconstructed a number of them, and now let's take a look at some of the similarities that they have to design a great movie logo.
Great font choice. Choose a display font that is unique and one that conveys the movie plotline without saying too much. Display fonts are great for adventure movies, while many designers choose fonts like serif for classic movies and sans serif for movies that are more relatable to real life. Of course, these are just rules of thumb. Many designers break out of the box to create something unique. Great typesetting skills are key in making a great movie logo. Typesetting is the art of the detail, and more specifically, we're talking about arranging letters in a way that evoke the feeling of the movie. For instance, something as small as spacing can create an airy and expansive look, or changing the type direction. Slightly turning a letter can make a logo more playful. Type treatment and effects. Having a logo flat can be impactful, but also can be adding effects only when it's necessary. Adding effects can reinforce the message or the plot line of the movie. Something as simple as a slash or a glow to over-the-top effects like superhero movies. Using simple design techniques and concepts to create a clever look. Like making a slanted logo to give off a sense of innovation and speed, handwritten fonts for something more romantic, or maybe the opposite. You can also use period fonts for movies set in another time, or branding. Movie logos are a small window into the plotline of a movie without telling the full story. The best movie logos have made their mark in our culture and history by becoming some of the most famous and biggest franchises of all time. A great movie logo must be memorable, evocative, and clever. Franchises logos like James Bond, Indiana Jones, and even slasher movies have made their mark and are instantly recognizable.
My name is Laura Kyung for Enviro Tats Plus. We hope you enjoyed this video and we will see you next time.